I should have done this a long time ago, but here's a video, or maybe more than one, depending on how much time it takes for me to record this, about some of the books that I've read recently, or maybe not so recently, but nonetheless, the books that I consider important and the books that I would recommend that you check out. I have a stack here, right here, that I'm going to go through one by one. And I'm probably going to mention some of the books that are not in the stack. They're somewhere else in the house. But let's just deal with this stack right here and go from the top. Thomas Sowell, The Vision of the Anointed. Now, this book was published back in 1993, was it? No, 1995. 1995. But it's kind of timeless. What is the book about? The book is about the mindset of, to speak very generally, the mindset of the left, the mindset of collectivists, statists, that in the current political landscape would generally fall on the left of the political spectrum. It is a very, very valuable insight into how that psychology works, and it helped me understand a lot about why people that I run into in my daily life and also observe on TV and in other news, why they appear to think the way they think. I don't want to divulge too much of the contents of the book. It's a fascinating read. It demonstrates a lot of things that you and I might feel somehow intuitively, but it gives them a lot of clarity and gives a lot of structure to how that mindset is constructed and how the mechanics of that mindset actually work and function. So I won't say any more. Read this book. Read this book. If you're puzzled by some of your more liberal or rather statist friends and why they won't, respond to reason and argument and facts, while at the same time believing that they are the empirical ones, they are the fact-driven intellectual ones, read this book. You'll understand a lot better how that works. Again, highly recommended. Now, Meltdown by Thomas Woods Jr. Thomas Woods is a big figure with the Mises Institute, for an institution for which I have tremendous respect and from which I've gleaned a lot of valuable knowledge, specifically in the field of economics. Now, Thomas Woods is a historian by training. He's a very engaging writer. And in the book Meltdown, it actually reads, Meltdown, a free market look at why the stock market collapsed, the economy tanked, and government bailouts will make things worse. If you're looking for any semblance of coherent understanding and explanation of what happened in the financial crisis in 2007, 8, 9, you need to read this book. It's not very thick. It's a relatively quick read. But what's important is that it provides you with a framework that is the Austrian framework of understanding why the boom and bust cycles actually occur and mechanics that put them in motion. And the Austrian theory has tremendous predictive value because in my mind it actually it possesses a very keen insight, understanding of the actual reasons of why things happen in the economy. It is way better than Keynesian, neo-Keynesian, Chicago School monetarist ability to explain and therefore predict what's going to happen next. I mean, Google Peter Schiff was right. If you don't know who Peter Schiff is, you probably do. Most of my subscribers probably do. But if you don't, Peter Schiff spells SCHIFF. Google Peter Schiff was right. Okay, you will see an individual who's very well versed in the economic theory of the Austrian school. Back in 2005, 2006, going on TV and predicting exactly what was going to happen to the housing market and to the financial market in the United States, and the authoritative economic commentators and the members of Academy would be pointing fingers at him and calling him crazy for predicting all of that. And yet he was right to that T. He was right about everything, and he's still right. And if you don't watch If you don't watch his channel here on YouTube, I think it's called Schiff Report, one word, then you're missing out on a lot of valuable information on the current state of the economy, both the U.S. and global economy. So I would recommend both the book by Thomas Woods Jr., Meltdown, and I would recommend Peter Schiff's YouTube channel. And by the way, his other books. I own a book by him that's called Crash Proof. He has a new book out called How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes that I intend to buy once it goes down in price. I'm not going to buy a new book for like $16. But both, Crash Proof is excellent, very practical. How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. I don't expect to learn anything drastically new from it because I constantly read on the Austrian economics. But it's from what I've heard, it's an excellent explanation with lots of practical examples that anyone interested in economics could benefit from tremendously. So Meltdown, again, get it. Now, if you're going to just read one book about economics, I suggest that it be this, Economics in One Lesson by Henry Hazlitt. Now, this book first came out in 1946. Yet every single chapter and every single topic in this book are as relevant today as they were back then. And unfortunately, are going to relate very, very relevant for as long as the eye can see into the future. The gist of the book has to do with how, what kind of mistakes economists usually make in assessing, say, a result of a certain policy. Basically, it's one of the two mistakes. It's either focusing completely on the effects of a given policy on one group of people and absolutely disregarding the effect of the said policy on every other group, or focusing on the short-term effects and failing to account for or imagine or think about longer-term effects of the same policy, or the combination of the two. That really is the heart of the matter here. And Henry Hazlitt goes over. He starts by explaining the so-called the broken window fallacy, and going into the writings of Frederick Bastiat, and then chapter 1 is called The Lesson because there's only one lesson, which I just described to you. That's one lesson. Then that's part 1 that consists of one chapter, and that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Not even that. And then part 2 is the lesson applied, and then he has chapters there that go over areas like one by one. Okay, here. Part 1, the lesson. Part 2, the broken window, is one chapter. Then the blessings of destruction, the fallacy of of war creating wealth, and how that is absolutely not true. Public works mean taxes. Taxes discourage production. I'm just reading off the names of the chapters there. Credit diverts production. The curse of machinery. Spread the work schemes. Disbanding troops and bureaucrats. The fetish of full employment. Who's protected by tariffs. The drive for exports. Parity prices. Saving the X-industry. That's a brilliant chapter right there. How the price system works. Again, very, very, very insightful. Stabilizing, quote-unquote, commodities. Government price fixing. What rent control does. Still relevant. 1946, remember. Minimum wage laws. Do unions really raise wages? Enough to buy back the product, the function of profits, the mirage of inflation, the assault on saving, the lesson restated. Read this book. If this is going to be the only economics book you read, you need to understand this. First of all, if you think that economics is boring, you will stop thinking that once you read the book. And hopefully, the newly discovered interest will drive you to read more. I would definitely recommend that you check out the Austrian School of Economics. But hey, it's up to you. But again, highly recommended. Don't miss this book. You need to read it. In fact, you can find it online. Just Google it, and you'll find the text of the book online for free. You don't even have to buy it. Okay, continued in part 2.